Join the charge. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Heck, we're even on TikTok. There's something for everyone here. We're excited to engage with you. We hope you'll join us moving forward.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the end of the month here. Hey, Austin, how's it going?
Not too bad, Andrew. Getting a nice little run in the stock market from a few of our picks, so that's always nice. But it's been a good week. Weather's still holding up here, so can't complain.
I'll complain. It's been kind of rainy and cloudy here in Vancouver, but I'm not really going to complain. It's beautiful here. It's always green.
It's Vancouver.
It's Vancouver, so it's very pretty. But yes, especially yesterday. Last couple days, GasX is on the move. It's starting to come together. It's this whole energy crisis, while affecting everywhere, and inflation and whatnot, is certainly on everyone's mind. So, it's good because they have a solution not only for Colombia, but potentially all South America, providing clean natural gas. And as many will know, or maybe not know, Colombia uses, I think, 50% of their energy is clean and green, but it comes from natural gas. So it's electric, but it's powered by natural gas. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the side that people don't necessarily put together altogether. But it's a much better solution, obviously, than we have had like such a run on coal. And we talked about unintended consequences before. But it's good to see GasX. It's coming together. They're hitting their milestones, and like everything and everyone else was affected by COVID. So it's good to see them starting to really ramp up.
Yeah, it is for sure. It's been a nice little run for them. It's good to finally see it all coming together. It's really encouraging the strategies that they have and the potential of growth that they still have ahead of them, despite what's been a really good month. Yeah,
that's been good. And then, of course, the other one, because we've got two interesting stories we want to jump into that's more general, but GMG we have to talk about too, because people have been kind of waiting, seeing what the next step was, and we can see back-to-back news in regards to them having an arrangement and signing a deal with Bosch for creating and delivering their GMG graphene aluminum ion batteries. Mm-hmm. And the next day, literally just announcing that they're commencing construction. So it certainly had a big run up yesterday, and it's somewhere sitting around $3 right now. So quite a big couple of days for that. We have very big expectations on both those companies, and we're very much going to pay attention and look forward to seeing what news comes out of there as well. But very exciting. Just boom, they just took off.
Yeah, great little run. The news that caught my eye for sure was GMG actually beginning construction of the battery plant. I think that's awesome from a production scale. We know all the data and the research behind these batteries and the quality that they can turn out. So now that they'll actually be producing them, and hopefully then that means selling them in a mass scale, then revenues and profits will start to rise from there, and that share price should continue to go higher.
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot more about energy and battery storage and all this as well. We've been talking to a lot of lithium companies because obviously the need for lithium is pretty massive. But also, we can't neglect uranium. If you're going to talk clean and green, you have to talk uranium. Now, of course, like I've mentioned before, I'm someone who doesn't love flying, but I know the risk of dying in a flight it's so low. It's minuscule. But that doesn't mean I'm not a bit scared of it. And I liken that to the nuclear story of most people think of nuclear, and it's usually for bad reasons, either a nuclear bomb or atomic bomb, or they think of Chernobyl or Fukushima. And those are big enough, scary enough events and of impact enough that can leave an indelible mark. Mm-hmm. But that being said, it is by far the safest and cleanest energy source that we have. So we're going to delve into uranium a little bit, because when uranium goes, it goes. And once again, if you don't have the solution, which we don't, for a lot of these goals, and when you're enacting policy, when you don't have a replacement, hard times come. So we'll leave that for another day. But I wanted to jump into two. I guess this is a good segue, because I always like to look to see what all the big funds and the big ones out there are doing. And if you want to talk about the biggest, you go straight to Blackrock, and CEO Larry Fink, he said there'll be 1,000 billion startups, and they'll all be in climate tech.
Yeah.
So that's great news.
That's incredibly exciting news. That's kind of shows the path that we've highlighted that we think we're on, the direction that things are moving. But like you mentioned, when the big players are talking about it, when it's BlackRock and it's trillions and trillions of dollars behind this kind of idea, it goes to show that you might be onto something here.
Yeah, and they're basically telling you this is what we're funding. So, a lot of people will say, well, Andrew, I think you're wrong. Why do you think you're right? And I'll say, well, I don't have an opinion on a lot of this stuff. It's literally, they're telling you. So for me, I look at this and go, okay, BlackRock's telling you from their research and where they're putting money. And once again, I'll have to check the number, but they're on a considerable percentage of every board of top 500 companies, Fortune 500 companies. They're on the board because they've lent the money. They've got a say on how things get done and how they get done, why they get done. They're huge in the what do you call it space, ESG space. This is a big commitment, passion for them, whatever you want to call it. They're a partner with the World Economic Forum, and Larry Fink is an editor or writer on that. They go to Davos. This is where they all meet and they talk about their plans. So you can't discredit that. Now that doesn't mean, and I know you're in Alberta, and I'm from Alberta as well. Doesn't mean there's not going to be an oil and gas play. There's going to be lots, and for a while. It just means there needs to be a lot more attention, and a lot of money will be thrown at a lot of different plays at tech, trying to make solar panels more effective, and energy, or their transfers of energy. So all of these plays that are this greener, cleaner electric future, we're going to see a lot of money. And that, once again, if you go down far enough, the foundation of that is all mining.
Yeah, well, it is for sure. And I mean, we talk about it all the time, but if you're going to hit these lofty goals that a lot of countries have for, emissions by 2025 or by 2030, it's going to be essential. It's going to be critical. It's not a bad kind of bet to make that there will be a lot of these startups in this climate tech sector when everyone is going to have to make this massive shift, massive adjustment. And when you're talking about a 8 to 9 year time frame, that's very, very quick that they are expecting these things to be done.
Yeah. And don't discount Canada. Everyone thinks, oh, it's going to be tech. It's going to come out of California. No, it not all. We have incredible tech companies in Canada and incredible teams. So not only on the tech side, but once again, on the mining side, is having that control of resource. If you don't have the lithium, you're not it doesn't matter. If you don't have a steady supply, it's just not going to matter. You're not going to be making any products. Yeah. And we see that supply shortages are an issue. They're not going away anytime soon. And that's not, to be negative. That's just a fact of policy that is being run by different governments in the world. So right now, it's a time where you can start kind of gathering information, looking to these large funds and saying, listen, they're telling you there's going to be that's a big number for someone for that to say, $1,000 billion companies. There's going to be so much money flowing into the sector that it's going to give a lift to all sorts, but it's then weeding through ones that really have the potential. And, companies like Desert Mountain Energy, they're going to be there. There's all sorts of interesting ones, and even Extro in the past that we've talked about. Companies like this that are providing solutions are ones that people should be paying attention to. And the more you get on board with this, the better. And that doesn't take anything away from other energy sources as well. Yeah. Natural gas is going to be doing just fine. And as we can see, oil is going to be doing just fine for the next long while as well, because we're just not there. We don't have all the solutions yet. So, there's a little gap between reality of what we actually have and then the political, topics to touch on.
Well, yeah, because just from a logistics standpoint alone, you're not going to be able to achieve any of these goals without using the current infrastructure that we have in place. And that current infrastructure isn't one that runs off of solar powered or electric vehicles, right? So you're going to have to play within the system that you've got to get yourself to this kind of next strategy, next path forward.
Yeah, and if you're talking about changing just cars and vehicles, all the buses and everything over to electric, I don't see anyone building out all these charging stations across each country yet. So until you start seeing that, there's still a while to go. And that also means the entire grid has to be switched over and made more efficient. But once again, these are the opportunities. That's where a lot of money is going to be made, and a ton of money is going to be poured into. So anyways, that's kind of repeating the message that we've always been talking, but it's good when you have other people validating it, and that size too, because the more that they kind of push forward, and once again, there's good and bad to all things, but if they're out there promoting this, people are going to be paying attention, and that helps to move markets.
It does for sure. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
No, I was just going to cap off what you said. So go ahead. All good.
Okay, good. I was just going to wrap it up quickly and just mention Cathie Wood and Elon at it again. I always find it interesting because they're both very bright. They're very smart, and interesting perspectives. So maybe you want to, kind of lead with that.
Yeah. So very interesting kind of perspective that Cathie took, and this was in kind of a bit of a Twitter exchange back and forth between herself and Jack Dorsey from Twitter, and Elon jumping in at one point. But for anyone who missed it, Jack Dorsey came out and made this claim on Twitter that hyperinflation is going to change everything. It's happening. And Cathie kind of came back by saying, back in 2008, 2009, I thought inflation was going to take off. I was wrong. The rate in money, which turns over every year, is declining, taking away from the sting of inflation, and kind of saying that because you have technology like blockchain and other, technologies that can help temper inflation like that, she doesn't actually see it taking off to the degree that some people do.
Yeah. So, I mean, she's kind of making the argument that the prices of her stocks will inflate at a magnificent rate, at a much stronger rate than the actual inflation rate. Maybe she's got a point. I mean, the potential for growth in blockchain is enormous. I mean, there's no doubt. And I mean, some of the things that people are working on are pretty fantastic. So she has a point to some degree, but that doesn't really affect most of the population. So, most of the population is not really even in the stock market or in cryptos and whatnot. So that's where, we want to kind of come in and tell people there will be sectors, and mining will be one, because it feeds even Bitcoin mining, crypto mining. That takes work like physical mining in order to do those things. There will be sectors that are going to balloon and take off, and other ones that are going to get hit because they're already massively overvalued. So she's got a good point. And it's like anything, in a time when you're printing money like crazy, the people who have money tend to do just fine because they have the opportunity to invest in things. Those that don't are going to get left behind. So, it's that kind of, presentation that I always kind of go back to a couple of years ago, the Roaring '20s and Great Depression rolled in together. That's the kind of situation we're facing and will be facing for the years ahead.
Yeah, it will be. And I mean, even if you, to kind of tie into the inflation conversation, I don't know if you saw it this morning, but the Bank of Canada said that they're essentially going to stop their bond selling. They're going to be looking at increasing their interest rates to combat rising inflation, which it's nice to hear the Canadian government actually addressing anything related to inflation a little bit. But it's just showing you that's kind of what we have in store for us over the next few months.
Well, it's a thing with especially certain types of governments. If you shine a spotlight on them and call them out enough, they're then forced to admit, yeah, it's okay, there's inflation, but it's manageable, because their job there is to control public. I mean, that's what it is. And they don't want to cause a fear, and they don't want to cause any massive concern. And that's their job. So, no harm, no foul, I guess. But don't expect them to come out and give you information for any other reason other than it serves them their purpose. But that's a whole other conversation. Listen, that's a lot to cover, but I just want to throw out a couple of interesting things out there, because especially when you're talking about movers and shakers like Cathie and Elon Musk. I have no comment on Jack Dorsey, though. I don't like that guy one bit. Let's just put it out there. But anyways, it's the hot topic of the day, and it's something that people need to be paying attention to. And and when you're looking at that, then you need to make sure that your assets are being taken care of, and you're having a conversation with your broker, with your planner, whoever it is, at looking at opportunities out there to play a bit more defensively. But also, if you're playing defensively, like Cathie is saying, you can also be defensive but aggressive, if that makes any sense. It's kind of a contradiction, but there's opportunities out there.
There is for sure. And you know what? I'll just kind of, you made a little bit of a joke there about Jack. So I'll finish it off with a little bit of a joke because the thread actually caught my eye yesterday. It was one of the, I think it was one of the reporters from Barstool actually retweeted the thread. They said, "This is a great conversation between two intelligent people and Jack Dorsey."
Yeah, where's the lie?
So I'll leave you with that for today. But
all right, well, thanks so much, Austin. Have a good day, everyone. Enjoy your Wednesday, and we'll see you again real soon. Oh, one last comment. There's more changes coming. Hopefully you've seen the website. Tell us what you think, what your thoughts are. But we're also going to do a name change. Interesting. So we've had some discussions. It comes back every 6 months or a year. I kind of go, oh. So let you know that's coming soon. And we'll have more on that on Friday. So enjoy your Wednesday, everyone. Good to see you, Austin. Take care.
All right. Take care, everyone. Cheers.